Rise up, Rapids. We are coming to you from some stories that we had at the senior championship meet out in Stafford, Virginia. And it was awesome. I mean, we was a huge success before we even stepped foot on the deck, just because of what we've been able to accomplish and have such a large presence at the meet. But the presence was even bigger than the swims and bigger than the number of kids there. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to share some of those stories with you and tell you a little bit about, what we received. Speaking of receiving, I thought it was really awesome that we actually had a couple parents that were either running the meet or officials who actually stopped to give me some compliments. And if you had a chance to listen to the highlight video that we had from the 13 and over region championships, you'll hear me say a lot of the same things. We had a lot of people stopping to compliment us on the program. This one, though, was a little bit different because this parent in particular wanted to compliment us on our sportsmanship. And that really tugs at my heartstrings, because we're all about having honesty and integrity and caring for the person next to you, and it doesn't end with just the Rapids. We very much want to see, for the Richmond's sake, every single swimmer in the entire city from every single team succeed, and then beyond. So any of our opponents, you might be my opponent when we're swimming, but you're my friend all throughout. And it was really important to this parent that a lot of our swimmers, whether they came from other teams before, they're still friends with all those swimmers and they still get up and cheer for them. And I think that's awesome. So thank you to the parents that passed along those compliments. I just wanted to pass them back to you guys. I also want to give a nice compliment to a young lady named Christine Dadovich. So Christine is only 13. And she was at the senior championships, only swimming on relays. Believe it or not, she actually had qualifying times last year as a 12-year-old. That's how fast she is. But her primary focus was getting ready for the age group champs the following weekend. So we just wanted to use the relay opportunities to, A, help the relays be stronger, but also, B, just kind of help her tune up for age group champs. So Christine could have very easily just come in and just swam some relays and been done with it. But that's not her style. She's a really great teammate. She really buys into the Rapids concept, and she really loves, being there for her friends. And so she actually took the time to make a really big, nice team poster with everybody's name on it and the Rapids logo and stuff. And we had it, taped up behind the wall in our team area. So that was really cool, Christine. We love that you do that stuff. Please keep doing that. That's awesome stuff. I want to give a nice little shout out to two swimmers named Miles West and Carrington Bowles. Poor Miles and Carrington. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. They both had really great high school state championships, and a lot of kids were at high school state and got sick and got the flu and came home and missed the next week. And those two were two that had to deal with it. And it's just really unfortunate because they had senior championships only 1 week later, and missing a week of training, let's face it, it's not ideal. But I'm really proud of both of them. Miles in particular, because he got up and, even though he couldn't swim all of his best events and he wasn't 100%, he gave 100%. And we really needed him for our relays, and he stepped up and did a great job. So Miles, congrats on a really great meet. We look forward to seeing what you can do in sectionals when you're fully healthy. And Carrington, let's face it, she's a great distance swimmer, and she swam amazingly throughout the season, especially at that high school state meet before she got sick. And then she missed a lot of training. That's tough. That's really tough. And she could have given up on it and felt sorry for herself, and she didn't. She grew internally. She grew emotionally, and we saw her turn into a really, really strong person throughout the weekend. And she ended up breaking some team records in the process. So Carrington, I'm sorry, even when you're sick, you're still the best we've ever had. It's pretty awesome. So good job to you, girl. Speaking of, actually, Carrington's mom is the other person that I want to give a nice shout out to. Her name is Louise, and Louise also would probably be embarrassed that I give her a shout out because she was in charge of helping put together our team dinners at senior championships. And if you heard me talk about that in the 13 and over highlight video, it's just so important. I think it was worth mentioning in both of the highlight videos because we were able to actually come together as a team, and you see just true bonding happening. It happens a little bit in practice, it happens a lot at meets, but it really happens a lot in between. So if you're listening to this and you don't get to go on those trips, or you're considering whether or not you want to make a team trip, try to make that team trip, because you're going to find your swimmers making some really good friends and growing. And Louise, you really helped a lot with setting up those team dinners and doing that, so thank you so much. And finally, last but not least, I gotta call out our coaches. We had Coach Jessica, Coach Steve, and Coach Ben, who came, got some really great experience learning what it was all about to be at the senior championship meet and seeing those high-level swimmers. And each of them came a different day, and they brought some unique energy to the meet that was far beyond anything that I could provide. So thank you guys for doing it. And Ben, thank you for whooping my booty in basketball in between prelims and finals on Sunday. We were at the Jeff Rouse Sports and Rec Center, and they got a little basketball court off to the side. Well, it's Sunday. We're all checked out of our hotels, so we don't have anywhere to go. And so I was just going to go for a walk. And Ben sends me a text right when I start my walk. It's like, hey, I'm playing basketball. I don't think we were supposed to be on there, but nobody said anything until the end. And I found out the hard way that Coach Ben is actually a really good basketball player. I pride myself on being pretty good, but his height advantage was kind of worked me over. But I tell you what, I burned a lot of calories that day. So Ben, thank you for helping me get in good shape. Anyway, we got some fun stories to share with you about age group champs coming up soon. We hope you enjoyed this, and great job at Senior Champs, guys.